Hi, good morning, AO Tribe. Coming to you from sunny Southern California. Shelley Merrell. I own a fire protection company in Ventura, California. I'm happy to be here today for this month's mentor session. Just have a few questions here that I'm going to give my perspective on based on my experiences and what I've seen. The first question is from Carrington Carruthers. She asks, what is the best way to handle an upset client over an invoice reminder? Background is I'm a commercial product photographer, and I had an automated email sent out reminding a client their invoice was coming due. This email was not well received. This client is pissed, and the marketing manager with the company emailed me asking me to email the owner and apologize for sending the reminder. What is the best course of action to take in a situation like this? I actually had that happen one time too, and I was baffled, really, really baffled by it. Um, if people pay their invoices on time, they wouldn't get those reminders. So I'm always kind of baffled by that. But um, if I were you in that situation, I would basically go ahead and send the email and say it's, company process, standard procedure to send out reminders. I would point out that a lot of times in this new digital age, invoices end up getting lost. Sometimes accounts payable don't receive it. And so it's good to send a reminder here and there when they've got an invoice coming due. So um, I'm not sure why they are so angry and sensitive about it, but that's kind of on them. Um, if I were you, I'd send the email and say, I'm sorry, it wasn't meant to be offensive. It's just our standard procedure and it's an automated process. And I'm not sure what else could, what else, sorry about that. I'm not sure what else you could do in that situation. But anyway, let me know how that goes. I've been in that situation. It's not fun. People are people. Another one from, hi, honey. Good to see you. Congratulations on your wedding. That was exciting to see. Um, another question from Carrington Crothers is, what are the necessary legal steps to take when securing a new office space? I'm a commercial brand photographer. I have come to accept that I have outgrown my home studio space and want to look into a larger space to rent. Other than finding the space and paying the rent, etc., what are the other obligations that are necessary? Well, Carrington, that will depend on your city that you're in. But typically, most cities require that you have a business license. If I were you, I'd go onto your city's website, and a lot of times you can even type in their search engines and say how to start a business in that city, and it'll give you a list of the things that you need to do. But I would 99.9% guarantee you at least need to get a business license, and commercial, like general, you'll need to get some kind of insurance. I forget the name of it, but you'll need to get some type of insurance to cover the stuff that's in your office space typically. And then the other thing I would suggest is definitely read the fine print in any leases that you may need to sign. It'd be good to, hi Robin, it'd be good to, if you have an attorney, maybe have that attorney look it over and make sure it's good for you to sign, if that's a possibility. But otherwise, just do that. But I was also thinking about, I'm not sure what your personal situation is or anything, but I was wondering if it would be an option that you could buy your own space, maybe. I'm a big proponent of building your assets I listen to Sharon Lechter on that topic quite often. And so if it was within the realm of possibility to buy a small property and develop your office there, I would recommend that because it's just another way to build your assets. Um, Other than that, just read the small print. Always read the small print because that's where they hide everything. I hope that helps and keep us posted on your progress. Um, the next question is from Joshua Grant. He asked, how do you know when it is time to expand your facilities? Background, I'm a welding and fabrication business that does a lot of different things, mainly handrail, but we will take any project. I feel as if the problem now is that I'm outgrowing my shop space due to tools and machinery. I feel as if I add more people, everyone will be working on top of everyone else. Um, Joshua, I'm in the same situation. I've been talking for the last year and a half that I've wanted to buy property, and the right property and shop hasn't come up, but we are in the same situation here. As a matter of fact, I have somebody starting November 15th who's going to take up my last possible office desk. Um, so I hear you. It does feel like we're moving or kind of stepping all over each body, each person. Sorry, tongue tied. Um, but my recommendation would be when to expand. Number one is if you can afford it is the first thing. If that doesn't put you into a bad situation. But then the second thing to look at is, are you actually unproductive as a result of your lack of space? And if it's causing production problems, then that should seriously be discussed with your financial planner or whoever helps you make those decisions. It would um, definitely be able to help you out with that. But my answer is basically if you can afford it or if you're unproductive at this point. So I hope that helps a little bit, but I'm in the same situation and I'll keep you posted on my progress here. Okay, my next question is from Gabs. Hi, Gabs. I hope everything is going well there in Hungary. His question is, how do you deal with criticism of your product mentally? Our company recently launched a subscription site that's better than anything else in our market by far. However, as can be expected, critics soon turn up in our inbox in the comments section. Some unfair criticisms as well as some fair criticisms of things we are currently fixing, but at the same time, we're talking about a brand new product that's less than a week old. So, of course, there are a few things here and there that need to be fixed and improved. I'm very good at responding to feedback like this and disarming arguments, but at the same time, I take the criticism very personally and it's killing me inside. I'd appreciate any tips on how to deal with this on a personal level as well as in our official responses. Um, I tend to not take things too personal when I'm criticized. I was thinking about this situation and wondering how I would feel if that were happening to us. One of the I recently saw on social media the way somebody responded to a criticism of an event that had not gone very well. And the person who organized the event, I thought, was very elegant and classy in his response. And he said, yes, I agree with you. We've learned a lot. And I thought that was a really great response to that. Internally, um, I've gotten to the point where I truly believe in haters gonna hate. And you're always going to have somebody. I mean, especially on social media or out there to the public. People just, what do they call them, like keyboard warriors or whatever? Somebody's always going to have something to say. It doesn't mean a thing to you, actually. So what I do is I just kind of tell myself, yeah, okay, whatever. If it is actual something that is constructive, then you could respond back saying, "Oh yeah, that's a great idea," or "We'll look into it," or respond by saying, "Oh, I see what you mean," that kind of thing. But internally, you just got to keep reminding yourself daily that haters are going to hate. You're always going to have people out there just looking for things to nitpick. There's a lot of miserable people in the world, and they like to make others miserable. So, um, I on this topic, I usually again go back to what Sharon Lechter talks about. She talks about your cone of protection. You just kind of put that cone of protection on and just let anything else just kind of fall by the wayside because it's never going to go away. Um, Hopefully that helps a little bit. Know that you're not alone. You're not alone. We all go through that. I'm sure every entrepreneur watching this will say, "Oh yeah, I've had that happen." So, you know, it's just a matter of mindset and not letting it bug you. Okay, so the next question is from Ricardo Delgado. How can I start a company culture and build your employees to follow that culture? I'm looking to build up professional barbers within my barbershop. I'm building my brand business into a culture. I want to have my employees build their careers within the company. I'm having trouble finding where to market what we benefit if they join us. This goes back to a topic that Sean has hammered into our heads about core values. So, in developing your core values, you determine the words or phrases that you want your brand to be known as. Like if it's honesty or integrity or excellent customer service, you okay, so how I recommend developing core values is I will put each one onto a sticky note and stick it up on the wall, and then just kind of develop from there phrases or those words, and then take that and get it printed onto something that can be hung on the wall, and that's your core values. And then as you hire people during the interview, you tell them what your core values are, and then you ask them, give them the option, to you ask them if they feel they can comply with those or if that is in line with the type of company they want to work for. If they know the core values from the very beginning, it's going to be easier in the long run because then you're all kind of on the same page and understanding that it's a team effort and that you all play a part and that kind of stuff. So, um, what I also do though around culture is I'll do little things for employees. Like, for instance, we just had a competition in the employee competition, and the competition had to do with participating in this particular thing that the people in my office wanted done. And so we got, gave it out to each employee. Reminders were sent out right before the deadline. And when the deadline came, um, they didn't know this, but each person who actually participated, I handed $100 bill to. And it was a surprise. Nobody knew they were going to get that or do that. But what it did is those people who didn't participate are going to think twice about whether or not they're not going to participate in further things. Um, that might work for your culture and like getting those employees involved and doing the things that you want to follow that culture. Hopefully that helps. Um, I've been I had not known about core values and company culture prior to joining AO. So I've spent the last couple of years really working on our culture and getting it to a point where I feel like I have a really good team right now. And so, if you can start that off from the beginning, that's better. You might find that some of your current employees don't align with those goals, and that's always a challenge too. Um, but anyway, let us know how that goes. Hopefully that helps. Um, the next question is Yola Al-Sabah. I'm sorry I butchered your name. Um, Apologize for that, but the question is, how do you shift your thinking, and what steps did you take to go from an independent contractor to a business owner and then to an investor? The background is I'm an independent life insurance broker with a few agents in my organization who are also 1099. I want to take my agency to the next level by hiring staff and growing a book of business. I want to become a mentor for other agents, but I feel like I have a long way to go. I've been considering hiring a business coach mentor and figured I would start here. Well, Yola, you are in the right spot. Um, Definitely. I always recommend hiring a coach or a mentor. The biggest roadblock is deciding whether or not you need a coach or mentor and then committing to it. And it sounds like you're pretty much already there, or you're at least open to it. Um, I'm not sure who all is doing coaching right now within AO. I know Sean does coaching and Joel Gandara does coaching, and I highly recommend either one of them. But that would be a discussion for Sean. As far as going from being an independent contractor who just gets a 1099 at the end of the year for your taxes, um, the steps I would take is I would decide if I want to start an LLC or if I want to be fully incorporated. You can do either of those. You can Google that and find out the benefits of each type. But I would say file the LLC, and then you're going to want to pay yourself as if you were an employee. That way, your company, your payroll taxes are being taken out, and that's all being handled. And drawing a salary, paying the payroll taxes. Oh, and then if you're wanting to head in that direction, I highly recommend starting on your employee manual. That's going to be huge. Again, like with the last question too, like developing your core values. How do you want your business to be seen? And get those words or phrases down on something that is out in the open for everybody to see so they know that they've got to follow those core values in order to be a part of your organization. And uh, see, whatever. What else? Yeah, and then starting on that employee manual. A local HR consultant in your area would be able to get you started on an employee manual. We also have Marcia in here who is an HR guru and has that if you want to maybe have a consultation with her. She's really good. We're using her. I'm really, really happy with the HR developments that we've been implementing and getting put in place. So, HR is going to be huge if you're going to start hiring employees. I hope that helps. If you have any other questions or want me to expand on any of that, just send me a message. No problem. Okay, the next question is Lloyd Brown. Hi, Lloyd. I hope you're doing well there in Houston. Um, okay, so he said, when adding additional employees, should I hire before I'm ready for them to start, which wouldn't be until November 15th, or wait until I'm ready for them to start and then hire? Um, his background is I'm adding a third truck to my moving company November 15th, and I need to hire a team of 3 to service the jobs. Movers I can usually hire quickly, but a qualified manager may take some time. Thanks. Um, I don't know if you've been keeping up with what's going on these days. Right now, it's really, really, really hard to find employees. So if you have somebody who is ready to start and all that, if you can afford them, go ahead and hire them. Get them on board. They can spend their time. You can have them shadow you to learn how you do things, how you want things done. Um, and it looks like you're looking for a qualified manager more so than the movers. So if you're going to bring on a manager, then yes, I would recommend, if you can afford it, go ahead and hire them, and then that's what I would do anyway. And then I'd have them shadow me and start learning that, and eventually, hopefully, they can take over some of the stuff that gets things off of your plate. I know that you're overwhelmed with doing everything yourself, and so it's going to be important to get that into place for growth. I hope that helps. Reach out if you need any more, if you want to talk about it more. The next question is from Michael Wilding. Do you track your time? If so, what software do you use? I have a ticketing platform similar to Ticketmaster. I'm wanting to keep track of what I do so that I don't waste my time on unimportant items, even if they need even if they need to be done. I need to cover customer service, social media, post programming, and sales in my week. Eventually, it's my intent to hire for 3 or 4 items listed, but I'm just not there yet. I don't use a particular software to keep track of my time. I've got my calendar on my phone. I those repetitive tasks, I have them set to be reoccurring. So, like, say for instance, I do payroll every Wednesday, so every Wednesday payroll pops up on my phone. I also have them set in my Outlook calendar, and that's pretty much how I do that. I recommend reaching out to Dan HT, um, because he has mastered the art of tracking his time. He has spreadsheets and stuff that you can actually go through, figure out all of your time. You'd take like a week and you would analyze how you're spending your time first before you make any adjustments to your time, and then you start planning from there. So, but otherwise, with this, like, time blocking is a really great method of getting certain things done. Setting those appointments, setting recurring events, those are the things I use. But I will be interested to hear what Daniel says in his mentor session. Hopefully, he'll get that same question, because he will give you a much better answer than I will. I hope that helps, Michael. Okay, my next question is from Robin Turpin. Hi, Robin. I do see you waving on my chat here. Oh, Kimberly, thank you very much. Yes, I went dark. I don't know why. I didn't want to. My hair person made that decision for me, and I can't say that I've been very happy about it, but we're going with it. So, whatever. But thank you very much. All right. question from Robin. So, in sales, how many times do you recommend accepting rejection gracefully before redirecting focus? Thank you so much. The background is Art for Calm. Setting up on location at a beautiful local park, I go into it with a mindset of building rapport, building trust, networking, enjoying, and selling by sharing. People are enjoying and not buying. With consistency, I feel this can only help my business. When I do not sell, it feels discouraging. However, I persist. And her elevator pitch is, as an artist, I help people feel moments of calm through my oil paintings of sunsets. Oh, thank you, Robin. I like it better blonde, but whatever. Thank you. um, I'm not sure what Sean and Tom's answer would be um, regarding how many times do you recommend accepting rejection gracefully. I think they both go with 10 times. Like if they're calling somebody, they will call somebody 10 times before they find, or maybe it was that it takes 10 times before you get a sale. Um, that's more aggressive than I am. So I personally go with 2 or 3 times. But it really depends on the tone and the body language of the person that you're talking to. Um, you can tell a lot by the tone and the body language if that person's never even going to be interested. Don't waste your time on those people. There's plenty of other people out there um, that will buy or be open to being persuaded to buy. And I'm curious if you've had that conversation with Tom or Sean. So, but for me, it'd be 2 or 3 times. That's just me. Hopefully that helps. Okay. So, my next question, I think, is my last question. Yes, comes from Ricardo Delgado. What are some ways to compensate your employees? Strategies to use to help them stay, and how do you keep up with their progress? I have a barbershop, and it seems like keeping my employees happy can be challenging. I'm just never sure how long they want to work in the company. Um, Ricardo, that's a tough one. Hairdressers and barbers, for the most part, from what I have heard in the past, they tend to not stick around very long. I'm not sure if that's because they want to go and start their own business, or they just float from person to person, but I have heard that often. Um, yeah, I'm not sure. But what I had said earlier is I do things to try to make them want, how do I word it? Uh, do things that help them make them want to stay. Again, it goes back to your core values, your company culture. For me, I do employee day lunches where, well, we'll have lunch and then we actually get together and play team games for team building. And I really love doing that. Our technicians have such a great time. I'm not sure if hairdressers would, or barbers would feel the same way about that kind of stuff or not. Um, in We have a first Friday of the month employee meeting, and so I make sure and we have bagels and fruit. I just kind of go out of the way to make them feel special and that they're a part of everything and that their participation in the team is valued. Um, as far as compensating employees, what I often do is Indeed has it, and I think you can just like Google the average average pay scale in your particular area, and kind of keep track of that, and maybe run a few, like three, so that you get an average, and kind of keep track of what people are being paid in that industry. I know that right now, wages are going up like through the roof right now because people are hard to find. So you got to pay more to get them to join you. You've got to keep them happy and all that. But it goes up and down. And I think just by researching the industry and what the employees' pay scales are in your local area will help you remain competitive. And just treating them with respect, that's really all people want. There's been several surveys where people will rate um, what they want to see from their organizations. And money is usually at the bottom of the list. And the one thing that's usually at the top of the list is respect and validation. And so, as humans, we all want respect and validation. And, we're humans. So what can you say? So I think if you stay in those parameters, anybody who is not a flighty person who likes to just go from place to place to place will tend to want to stay, and be more stable. So anyway, I hope that all helps. I check here and see if I have any questions or anything like that. Oh, thank you, Robin. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, well, that's it for my questions and my answers, my perspective. If anybody has questions about anything I've said, feel free to reach out. I'm always here. And I hope you all have a wonderful week.